If we stand together, we'll never fall. We can make a difference and answer the call.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the All Around Growth Podcast. My name is Rob Kaiser, and I am your host. Today is Thursday, April 28th, 2022, and it's chilly this morning. It was a cold 27 degrees, and for late April here in Northeast Ohio, that's a bit brisk. I ran into Cody this morning. He'd been running the propane heater on and off all night long, and by the time I ran into him, he had said that he maybe actually thought he should have run it all night long instead of cycling it like he did, because he didn't realize it was going to be 27 degrees. And that's how I know how cold it got last night after a nice brief conversation with Cody this morning. It is a clear, beautiful sunrise on this Thursday morning, and today we are going to read from the Farmers Almanac. Yep, it's an Old Farmers Almanac Thursday, where you can learn from the show, or the link in the show notes, on any day, where who was born on this day, what happened today in history, and also come to understand that at least today on Thursday, April 28th, there's only 54 days until summer begins. It's 27 degrees this morning, and summer is 54 days away. There's a question of the day. If you're interested in finding the North Star on clear nights and want to learn what the relationship is with the Big Dipper, you can find out by clicking that link with today's date in the show notes. There's also puzzles of the day, like what did they wear at the Boston Tea Party, small little bits of poetry, like this from Louis Untermeyer. I never knew the earth had so much gold. The fields run over with it, and this hill, hoary and old, is young with buoyant blooms that flame and thrill. And that's the end of it, because I can't read properly. Louis Untermeyer, 1885 to 1977, the year of my birth. So today we can read about watermelons. Everyone seems to love juicy watermelon in the summertime. Native to Africa, melons require warm temperatures and a long growing season. You can learn how to plant and grow watermelons in your garden from this article. There's also an article on choosing tomato varieties for your garden. There are thousands of tomato varieties, so how do you choose the best tomato for you and your climate? You can see 4 factors to help you narrow down your choice of tomato, plus find tips on growing your tomatoes and giving your tomatoes a healthy start to life. Click in the link on the date in the show notes for more on that. You want to read about dandelion health benefits? You can do so as well. Gardeners cruise the ubiquitous dandelion and its pervasive nature. That darn taproot goes to China. However, all parts of the plant are edible and rich in vitamins, and that is not a bad thing. You can learn more about dandelion's health benefits in the article there. There's an article on dandelion syrup. One of our favorite recipes is a dandelion syrup, also called dandelion honey, which you make from the bright yellow flowers. It's great over pancakes, or waffles, or mixed with oatmeal. And there's wit and wisdom, 8 things you'll wish you said, and link to some unconventional pearls of wisdom that'll make you think or smile or just say, I'm going to click on that because, I'm just feeling a little bit out of sorts this morning, and I shared that with Cody, and I'll share it with you too. because that's what this show is all about. Sharing, growing, and sometimes I think about the 7 facets of life and how that applies to the show, and maybe that's what all around growth is. But the mistake that I made this morning was looking at my work email and seeing an email from just seeing an email, and it was actually some feedback that I sought but didn't quite get, at least in the appropriate amount of time frame, or what I thought was the appropriate amount of time frame. And I didn't even read it, but it gave me a feeling in the pit of my stomach, and even as I talk about it, it makes me feel sick. The reality is, I just don't get paid enough to feel this and experience this, and I look forward and long to the time when I don't, as often as I do now. And I've got a plan in place, and I feel comfort knowing that that's the case. And these Old Farmer Almanac episodes are nice as well, because they get me thinking a little differently, and I've got a fast driver behind me, which is going to throw my mind and ideas off course again. And that's okay, guys. Sometimes we have off mornings. All right. And so let's look at this driving analogy as an analogy for and about life, right? I'm driving down these side roads to get to work. And where I work right now is irrelevant. I drive on roads much like you drive on roads, and I live this life much like you live this life. And we have to, as long as we're doing things like driving on roads and interacting with others, which is basically what we do most of the time, there's a certain set of rules and laws, if you will, whether actual laws or proverbial laws, that we don't necessarily have to follow, but generally speaking, it's in our best interests to do so. For example, as I drive on these side roads, the speed limit is 45 miles an hour. Oftentimes, I drive at a slower rate of speed, maybe 40 miles an hour, maybe even slower if I find myself going down some path that may lead to interesting dialogue. I don't know. But nevertheless, in a case like that, where somebody's cruising up behind me, I will pick up the pace and go the speed limit, right? And that is an instance where I am going to, abide by the law, where I normally otherwise wouldn't, on account of those around me. And sometimes those around me, those who encourage me to engage in the way that I do, or abide by the way that I do, are unsavory to interact with. And sometimes they'll get up on you and ride your ass. Because apparently for those that do that, the understanding is that type of behavior is going to encourage some desired result or some desired behavior delivering the result from the person whose ass they ride. I don't know if it actually works that way, but it's a little unnerving to do so. It's also a little unnerving to have your ass ridden. Oftentimes that leads to passing, which may or may not include dirty looks and the like. But really, what else is there to do other than continue doing what we do, which is drive the speed limit until that person decides to take whatever action they're going to take. And then we continue. So there's a little wit and wisdom for you. And for additional wit and wisdom, you can click on the show notes for an article titled Wit and Wisdom, 8 Things You'll Wish You Said. And maybe with what's happening over the next few days, I could use some of these little nuggets of wisdom. So let's check out what we've got here, some unconventional pearls of wisdom to make us think or smile or just say, Number 1, war does not determine who is right, only who is left. Number 2, the early bird might get the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese. To steal ideas, this is number 3. To steal ideas from one person is plagiarism. To steal from many is research. Number 4. How is it that one careless match can start a forest fire, but it takes a whole box to start a campfire? And number 5. A bank is a place that will lend you money if you can prove that you don't need it. Number 6. Why do Americans choose from just 2 people running for president and 50 people for Miss America? Number 7. When you're tempted to fight fire with fire, remember that the fire department usually uses water. And number 8, a clear conscience is usually the sign of a bad memory. And there you have it, guys. 8 tips or 8 things you'll wish you'd said. There's a lot of things that I wish I'd said. And guys, all we can really do is prepare for the conversations that we're going to have in the best way that we can. Learn lessons in life from the experiences that we share with one another, because the reality is life is short, and all we're really doing is walking each other home. This is Rob Kaiser, and thank you.
In a world of pain, what can I do? The needs are many, and answers are few. People turn away, and I wonder why. If I can help somebody, then I want to try. People may think that it's odd that I believe in friendship and love, and truth is always the best way to the world that may seem odd. I'm an odd fellow. I'm an odd fellow. I'm an odd fellow. If we stand together, we'll never fall. We can make a difference and answer the call. We know the times are wasting every day, and we can help somebody along the way. People may think that it's odd that I believe